Hello everybody, this is Dr. Wu and I am listening. And together we are going to navigate through, thrive in, and grow from this crisis or any other crisis or traumas. Together we're going to become better, we're going to become stronger, and we're going to become healthier when this crisis or trauma is over, and it will be over. But we're going to do it together. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through your nostrils and out for 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we do that again to calm the mind and to activate the mind to be clear and calm, and also to calm the body so that we can really be very brilliant in our minds. So this is what I am listening to. There's a lot of grief and loss going on, so I really need to talk a little bit about grief. Grief is loss, grief, tragedies that are going on, the multiple ways that we're having loss. Of course, there's 5 areas. One is relationships, if people are dying or relationships don't feel like it's really right anymore. The financial, of course, your savings, your retirement plan, your career. You may have downsized to part-time or even lost your job. And then, of course, your health. Health is very important. You may be a frontline worker and definitely concerned about your own health as you're exposed to the virus, more so than the regular population that is quarantined at this point. And then the 5th area is also just your spiritual life. How is that going? What things are you feel like you've lost, a little bit of trust, or what things have you lost? So that's all the grieving and tragedy. So the thing about grief, there was some criticism of the stages of grief. So I kind of want to modify it, because I'm still eternally grateful for Kubler-Ross for even putting language to our emotions, because these emotions are very normal and they're very natural. Doesn't need to be turned into a disease, I'm feeling anxious. Yeah, I should feel anxious. I should be scared, rightfully, right? I may be a little sad, because friend of, I actually know somebody's family member, just died of the COVID virus. So these are very natural and appropriate emotions. So I'd rather think about grief as like an ocean wave. And these terms that we've assigned to the grief is really not so much stages. It's just a common frame of reference that you can just at least identify. Hey, I'm feeling kind of strange. What is it? Oh, that's what it is. All right. So I'm just going to kind of talk about it again. This is all kind of a waves thing. There's not like one progression to the next. It's just kind of, you're going to feel all this all over the place at different times in your life. So the first one is probably shock. When somebody, this lady pulls, I cannot believe this. This lady just pulled out in front of me, okay, and just forced me to go off into the bed, and I nearly ran into that pole. I mean, that's just shock. That's just shock, okay. And then sometimes you might even feel a little bit denial. I'm like, it's okay. I know there's danger at work, but I'm going to be strong. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go. So there you can have a little denial, or other forms of denial, unfortunately, is, you're feeling emotions coming up and your body's feeling kind of weird. But then you go, oh, you know what? I think somebody's calling me. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's calling me. As a matter of fact, I think that chocolate chip cookie might be calling me. Or maybe that, the Netflix. Yeah, I'm going to binge watch Netflix. I think that's calling me. Okay. So that's kind of the distraction that we all do naturally, because it's scary, to face the emotions that are coming at us. So that, so you got a little bit of denial. And then later on also, you might just be angry. You're like, what that? That's when all the blaming and all the shaming, why didn't the officials know better? They were kind of warned, years earlier that there could be pandemic coming. Well, gee, how come they didn't know any better? This is just horrible. I can't. And even with that, you know, I went a little bit that way too, guys. By the way, when I found out that the PPE was in shortage, that totally triggered me, because during Desert Storm, the people in the back, the admin people, they had Kevlars, and they didn't give us any Kevlar vests, and we were the medical unit that was going into enemy territory. Yeah, where the bullets were. Okay, so that's totally analogous. Believe you me, I have been angry at the hospital administrative system, the whole system, that somebody would be able to tell a doctor or a nurse or a respiratory technician or radiology tech or anybody working front lines with a patient with COVID virus, and to tell them that no, you can't wear a mask. I'm sorry. That is anger. That's righteous anger. So that's one. Bargaining. Bargaining is, oh gee, what if? Like when my dad was, he was diagnosed with cancer, and he died within four weeks back in 1990. I had a lot of what ifs, because he was complaining of back pain for about a year, but he was treating it with, Tiger Balm. Actually, the cancer was eating up his bones, is what was going on. So of course I was like, oh, what if? Gee, what if I should have asked him about the back pain? Gee, what if? Well, what if we had diagnosed it earlier? So a lot of what ifs, and we're all gonna go through that. So that's bargaining, And then there's some things that sometimes you might want to move forward. You feel like, okay, I think I would like to think of, what it would be like maybe when I get better. So you're trying to move forward now too. And then there's also a little bit of depression for sure. Okay, you're like kind of sad. Like today I had to do going through some stuff that I had to kind of review. And I kind of felt like, and this is more recent stuff, and I was just like, oh, that was kind of painful to have to read that again. And you know what? I'm feeling a little down right now. And I can't, and I got this YouTube I want to put out. This is not good. What am I going to do? I'm going to call a friend. So I called up one of my girlfriends and I said, hey, need to talk to you. We need to connect. So here I am. And, so yeah, so that's definitely one, yes. And then also acceptance. Acceptance isn't like a stage you get to. You never, and we'll get to that. You just that sometimes, during the day or for a few days, for a few weeks, you'd be like, yeah, I can accept this. I understand that, my mother's dead. I know that my father's dead. My brother's dead from 3 years ago. I'm not happy about that either, because he had a heart attack, and part of anger and what if, why didn't the ambulance take him to a hospital that could do open heart surgery? Yeah, okay. So yeah, and my dad died 30 years ago, and I'm telling you, there's still a little bit of anger about certain things, and my mom died about 15 years ago, in 2005, and I still have some anger towards certain people who would not help me help her, and towards the end. Anyway, so yeah, hey, something was gonna happen. Okay, so I kind of want to talk a little bit about grief and loss, just so that we can understand each other a little bit more. Number one is we do have to feel it. Sorry, it's very painful, but we do have to feel it, but within a safe, when you feel like it's safe, and hopefully with a person. We are meant to connect. Remember, safe connecting, safe relating. We're meant to connect. This is just how we've been created. So we are meant to share, and we are meant to hold each other and to sob, and to cry. 30 years ago, when my father died within a month, who I was very close to, was really one of my best friends, my mom and dad. I had 2 sessions where I literally was able to share with someone that loved him just as much as a father. And we sobbed, and tears were shed, we cried, all the things that we're letting go of, all the events that we're not going to get to do. He won't be there, when I see my, just finished my internship, all the medical stories, he's not going to be there, things like that. So I thought I was on the road to healing. Unfortunately, Desert Storm happened, and that's why my grief got actually short-circuited, and I never felt safe again to grieve, to finish that. So that's why I'm here. I don't want anybody to go through that. The feelings are scary, but at least we've got some terms for it, right? And we can say, hey, that's anger. Yeah, I'm feeling denial. I am feeling depressed. I am feeling in shock. At least we can name it. And it's very vitally important that we share our stories with each other. That's how we heal. So like Dr. Leaf, L-E-A-F, always says, feeling is the beginning of healing. So we've got to feel, but you got to be in a safe container. So let me talk about grief. As far as grief, people are like, oh yeah, you know, grief will, you know, time, it'll go away, and you know, just you can just move on, you know, and just let it go. But in reality, grief is more like a wave, and the truth is the grief will never go away. So this is the cool part. So imagine this. So I'm in a tennis court. Haha. There we go. Cool. So imagine this. This container is you. You know, your body. You know, your mind, body, spirit, soul. And this is your grief. You know, just lost my mom, my dad, my brother, and my other brother too. You know, I only have one sister left, y'all. Anyway. So this is the grief. So grief is also the amount of grief you feel. It seems to definitely correlate with the amount of love you feel. Like if somebody in the news, you know, I hear that they passed away, or, you know, I feel a little sad for them and their family, and you know, but I'm not going to be really grieving. But if it's my mom or dad that I adore, that I love, I mean, it's not going to go away, okay? So this is my grief, but it also represents my love for them. So this never goes away. And it actually should comfort us that it never goes away, so we don't have that survivor guilt, you know? Because my mom and my dad, they're the best, and they always will be. And that's all there is to it. And I can hold on to that. So in the very beginning stages, again, everybody's an individual, right? So no one can tell you what time or when the waves of anger are going to come, or depression, or no one can. You just have to kind of go with it with your friends, okay? So this is kind of that, and then doing, I don't know, a few months, a few years, I don't know. You'll find out. Grief was not going to go away because you love them. But as you go forward, hello. Yeah. Anyway, as you go forward, I'll go this way. As you go forward, remember the grief hasn't gone away because you still love them. Well, there's the grief now. See? That makes sense? Ah, there's my paper. Sorry. So it's different now because this is the grief, and you haven't moved on. You've just moved forward. Okay, you haven't moved on. You still love them. You're gonna still have dreams of them. And this is the weird thing. I've never had a dream about my dad yet. So I think there is something still there that I have not grieved fully because of Desert Storm. But my mom, yeah, I have really cool dreams about my mom sometimes. I'm in the kitchen, she's cooking, everything feels so good. I feel so safe, so nourished and loved and cherished and spoiled. But then I have to wake up and I go, no, she's not on earth anymore. But I'm going to see her in heaven. So that gives me hope. Hold on 1 second, guys. My paper flew away. So, grief is never going to go away, but that's okay, because you love them. No advertisement for pen. There you go. So, how do we move forward? Of course, not right now. Everybody's grieving. This is not the time to move forward. But in the future, you want to look back at this. This is actually coined by a wife of a Marine or Navy SEAL that died in combat. And I really liked what she said, what she came up with. So the acronym is MRE. And the MREs of your military, you know, that's meals ready, you know, for eating. I actually really like my MREs. I like any kind of casserole. I like the tuna fish tetrazzini kind of casserole. I like the chicken casserole, things like that. I didn't like the Italian. The Italian MREs are not very good. But the casseroles were actually pretty good. So, number 1, MRE. So, this is how you're going to move forward, you know, in the months and the years to come. Not right now. Right now, just feel your feelings and connect with somebody. You know, ebbs and flows. And this is the other thing I thought of that was really cool, is think of it as an ocean. But then, you know what? I also think that God's love is as big as the ocean and actually bigger. So just kind of, it's just waves of love, even though they're kind of tough feelings. It's waves of love, remembering how much you love them. And how much they loved you. So I think that's still going on. And it's really important to talk to people, because then you're validating your story, you're validating, you're sharing. There's no judgment with a safe person, and you're just here there to listen. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Dr. Wu listening. So, MRE. M is actually meaningful service to a higher purpose. So that could be, you know, what is it that better version of you that you want to do? What is it that you can give back to the world? For some reason, that really helps everybody, all of us, to kind of get into from the little life, right? Little life, to the big life. And then the second one is R. R is relationships. And that one's vital. I've already talked about bonding, but this is just going forward either. Positive relationships. Surrounding yourself with people that want the best for you, and want you to reach the best potential. And with this particular time period of our reset pause button, this is a time, guys, to really think about reassessing your relationships. Which ones are definitely worth keeping, and those are the ones you may want to spend more effort and time into, and which are the ones that really have served its purpose for a season and it's time to let go of. And it's okay. It's part of the process. And the last one is engagement, and that's actually leveraging your what makes you unique, and your strengths, your life experiences, and your passions, and to really make a positive change, positive impact. And again, with this reset button, we've really talked about crisis, opportunity, trauma, transformation for growth. So this is really, the engagement part is really vital. Maybe if you're grieving now, may not be a good time to think about it, but just kind of plant that seed in the back of your mind that, yeah, eventually you want to engage again in the world, and you've got a special message, you've got a special a love, and you're here to help. I asked some of my friends, you know, what are some of the things that really helps. Let's say somebody is grieving, you know, instead of just saying, how you feeling? That's kind of, when I came up with that, there's a storm, people were like, oh, how was the war? What kind of question is that? Total devastation, fear, death, I don't know, what? How's your day? No. So the better way to say it, if somebody's going through grief or all the crisis, you're like, hey, how are you handling the grief? You eating okay? You know, are you sleeping okay? Is there anything I can do? I'm here for you. If you ever want to talk, or if you just want to sit, or if you want to share some stories, whatever you need, I'm here for you. So that's kind of a little better approach. And then the other thing is, as far as the engagement is, and I love it, this is, she shared it with her about her husband. He always said to her, if not me, then who? And I love that. I love that. And I'm so glad, because I just got information from New York State. There's now a website out there for health professionals to get mental health, you know, training to get over this trauma. You know, we gotta have good health, you know, mind, body health, right, and spirit. We really need that. And I'm just so glad that that's happening. So there's less pressure on me, because I really felt like, if not me, then who? That's why I'm here. But then I really wanted to talk about the grief, because I've got a few dear friends that are going through this now because of a loss of a loved one, and also Like I said, some from financial losses. People are really going through a lot of difficulty. And so, again, I am here. Leave a comment if you need to talk. Just leave your email, whatever. Leave a comment down there. Oh, the action boost. Oh, yes. Sleep. I'm still on the sleeping tips because sleeping is very important. You have to have good, adequate sleep so your mind and your hormone system, your mind and your body will actually still stay healthy and resilient. Good immune system, anti-inflammatory, to survive this crisis and come through it actually healthier. So the last few points about sleep, and I talked about distractions, remember? So after 2 p.m., please, no caffeine or alcohol, because the caffeine actually messes with your circadian rhythm. That actually makes your body all confused about daytime, nighttime. Am I supposed to sleep? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then also the alcohol will also affect the quality of your sleep. And then, like I said about distractions, like, oh, I don't feel good, I'm gonna grab some chocolate. Or I'm lonely, I'm gonna grab some chocolate. I do love dark chocolate. Anyway, is not eating 2 hours before going to bed. And the reason that's important is because, and that's why this whole scheduling is so important, and trying to keep your life as boring and routine as possible. Because right now in this uncertain times, we really need that predictability to fight the timelessness, hopelessness, and powerlessness. You've got to have some power and control, which you can, and that'll make us more resilient. So the reason you don't want to eat really late at night is because nighttime, when you're sleeping, the body is meant to be detoxing. Okay, your gut is detoxing everything you've eaten. Okay, it's absorbing the good nutrients and getting rid of the harmful nutrients, right? So that's what the body's supposed to do. However, because the way we're wired, if you start feeding yourself a really big meal, a few hours or right before you go to bed, you're literally confusing the body. And the body says, oh, okay, well, yeah, somebody just turned on the lights. I'm supposed to be digesting again. Okay, I'm going to switch over to digesting, and I can't detox. And that digestion is not going to be as efficient as the normal. So you're not really going to be absorbing all the micronutrients that you really need as efficiently as possible. All right? So again, grief just means how much you love them. And we are going to move forward in the grief, but we always have the grief and the love. And as we move forward into the future, the grief gets more not so all-consuming. And then the way to move, and then the way to actually survive the grief and go from here to here is, number one, you've got to connect. Okay, so you've got to find 1 or 2 really safe people that no judgment, and share your story. Share your story. Be grateful. Things you're grateful for, the things you're sad about, the things you're mad about. Remember all the little 7 possible descriptions of the emotions that, I'm sure there's more terms too, to this whole emotion of grief. And we grieve as a human race because we love so much. So when you are grieving and there's tears, it just means that that's how much you love them. And that's actually a testament of your love. And when you are ready to move forward into, move forward, MRE, the meaning of serving a higher purpose. R is for relationships, needs to be positive relationships. Reassess which ones you want to work on more, and which ones you need to probably either let go or just kind of in the fringes. And the last one is engagement. Bring it on. Bring on your strengths. Bring on your passions, and really try to make a positive impact Like all these systems. We've got a bunch of systems, y'all, that need to be totally upgraded, because we are not going back. Things will never be the same again, but you know what? We don't want to go back to the way it was before the pandemic. There's a lot of systems that really need to be upgraded and totally transformed. So we need to be here. We need the world needs us, and we're not alone. And we're told, and as you're going with the engagement, you can engage others. If they're going through a grieving, you're a coworker, a family member, because they've really lost something that was very important. And then we're here to help. You know, you're not alone. And moving forward is just really learning how to live again. Again, the gratitude and the legacy that you want to give. And the action boost is just be careful what you're eating and drinking and the timing of it. Because you really want to be as predictable on the schedule as you can. And don't use food or other things or substances to completely block out the feelings of grief, because those are totally natural, and the body knows to heal. So we the beginning of healing is feeling, so we've got to feel it, but it's not a solitary feeling. For some reason we're just meant to be connected beings, so you have to share it with somebody, okay? And I am here. I am Dr. Wu, and I am listening. And together, we are going to be better. We're going to become better. We're going to become stronger. And we're going to become healthier. Mind, body, and spirit. All of it, okay? Yes. In the name of the great physician, I pray for you peace, health, feelings, human feelings, safe and positive connections with other people, and being careful to eat, and the schedule of when to eat and what to eat as it affects your sleep. Again, health and peace and love. Amen.